according to the Romantic poets, that sense of wonder, that sense of awe is natural to us. It's present with us in childhood. The problem is, from their point of view, the problem is not how to develop it, but how to prevent it from being destroyed. Okay, how to prevent its obliteration. Um, and once it's been harmed, how to undo some of the harm, right? Uh, Probably it's a feature of what it means to accept the kingdom of God as a child. Uh, the kingdom of God. Jesus does not say, um, "Blessed are the theologians, for theirs is the kingdom of God." He says, "Suffer the little children to come unto me, hinder them not, for of such is the kingdom of God." And I tell you, unless you receive the kingdom of God like a little child, you shall not enter. Right? So the children sort of naturally have a sense of the majesty and the wonder, beauty of things, and they don't have to go to the Grand Canyon to get that, right? And then gradually, the light of common day falls upon us, um, almost whether we will or no. But our schools set about destroying this wonder. Okay? First, they deny to the children works of great art, and then when they do introduce somewhat older children to works of literature, it's almost always with some political angle, and that destroys any sense of grandeur or beauty. Then the literature becomes merely instrumental. Nobody looks at a wrench or a hammer and says, "Oh my gosh, what a beautiful thing." And maybe they should, but nobody does, right? You might look at a tree and say that. Anyway, so that vision of education prevails in our schools. It's the most worthless and useless form of education, and its only justification is that it is useful. It's utilitarian. It's the most useless thing going. But it does tend to either starve the children of beauty or sicken it. That is, you got a work of Shakespeare in front of you, and instead of accepting it with gratitude and wonder and entering into its spirit with your imagination, you subject it to some kind of narrow and petty political use right now. And I mean, that just, why bother, right? I mean, if everything is going to be political that way, why even bother? You go on Facebook and you can get your political expression done a lot cheaper with a lot less trouble than, reading Romeo and Juliet or something. We can recover this sense, or some of it, by certain kinds of prayer and spiritual exercises, especially those that are associated with silence. Silence is key. Um, silence is like a refreshing well. You let your whole self be quiet. Don't be thinking, okay, this I have to do, that I have to do. To actually be at leisure, instead of constantly having to get something done for some purpose, right? That idea is very close to the whole notion of praise, right? The highest form of prayer is not the prayer of petition. That's good, that's wonderful, but the highest form of prayer is simply praise. And praise is the response of a grateful heart to something that is beautiful and excellent. And the, the 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 most fundamental thing that you can say in praise uh, is related, not related to it. I mean, it's the expression of awe or wonder. It's to say how good it is that you exist, how wonderful it is that you exist, right? Not how wonderful it is that you can do that, or how useful it is that you can do this, but just how wonderful and amazing that you are. And maybe uh, that kind of prayer, which is especially um, akin to silence, to listening and receiving, would be a way for us to return to ourselves a sense of awe.